that was one of those cases where it wasn't just Sean. It was like I had it up to here. Sid Vicious, God rest his soul, was the one that incited the riot. I broke my ankle, and they hid my crutches. So everybody's just, oh, man, that's messed up, man. They took your crutches? Right about that time, the clique shows up. And it's Sean, it's Razor, it's Scott Hall, and Kevin Nash, and Sid. I told Sean, I said, hey, man, I don't feel like playing. Like, enough is enough. Like, yeah, I've been doing this all day. I'm done. And he was like, but how are you going to get home? You know, he just kept on pushing the button. And I said, you too little to be talking to me, man. I'll kill you. I said, there ain't enough people standing behind you right now to stop me from taking your life. And you over here playing with your life like that. And he's like, what? Who are you talking to? I said, I'm talking to you. And there ain't nothing you can do about it. I said, if y'all want to do something, now is the time. I said, if you don't kill me, I'm going to kill every last one of you when I get back. And Sid is, Sean was like, hey, y'all need to do something with this dude. He is nuts. I wasn't nuts. I was real. And Vince was like, damn it, you can't threaten the top guys. I said, he wasn't acting like a top guy. So Vince was like, look, Brett has a camp up there in Calgary, and I can't fire you. I can't. So you're going to have to go away and learn how to be more tolerant in this business. Brett didn't like Sean either, and he didn't want them to do nothing bad to me. So I moved to Canada. I lived up there for a year, trained with Stu Hart in the dungeon.
There's only a very select people that understand what happened that night. The referee's not one of them. The music guy is not one of them. Vince McMahon is one of them. Undertaker knows what happened that night. I know what happened that night. Brock Lesnar knows what happened that night. How do you know it was a creative process? How do you know that was supposed to happen? You may think you know, but do you know what would have happened at WrestleMania 30 if Brock Lesnar said, I don't want to lose. I'm going to win. I'm going to dump him on his head. I'm going to knock him out. Then I'm going to F5 him. I'm going to hook his leg. And I'm going to pin him. And nobody's going to be able to fire me. Because once I beat that streak, how could they fire me? Do you think he can't do it? Do you think The Undertaker would be able to stop Brock Lesnar from taking that victory? Could anybody in WWE stop Brock Lesnar from taking that victory? This is a true question. What if that's what happened? What would the reaction be? Wouldn't the reaction be exactly what it was? That The Undertaker needed a year just to get his head back into the game? Brock Lesnar does what Brock Lesnar wants to do. And what if on that night, in front of the whole world, live on the first WrestleMania offered on the network, what if Brock Lesnar decided, I'm going to do what I want to do? What if he really did conquer the streak? Is Heyman telling us something we're not supposed to know, or is he just with our heads?
Shawn Michaels is probably one of the best to ever get in the ring, if not the best. If he would be 1A, then 1B would be Eddie Guerrero. And I don't know if those aren't interchangeable. Eddie Guerrero was straight money, so good at so many things. Hulk Hogan, just larger than life. Brock Lesnar, Undertaker, Cena with the longevity of his run. Flair's my favorite wrestler of all time. He's the greatest traveling world champion of all time because no one ever did it at his level. Harley Race is one of them. There's a lot more, but hey, I don't build no Mount Rushmore.
So I think that match was voted the greatest match in Raw history for the first 10 years of Raw or something like that. First of all, the sad thing is it doesn't exist anymore because Benoit is in it. But it was such a fucking great match. The crowd was insane. And it was Jericho and Benoit versus Austin and Triple H, and Steve and Tripp were the fucking heels. It was for the tag team titles. I remember I had Steve in the walls of Jericho, and Triple H was supposed to break it up. And he came from behind to hit me. And I remember like he hit me really light. Like, that's not like him. And then I saw him kind of fall down and roll out. And then there's a couple other things that happen. And then I end up on the floor. Steve and Chris are still in the ring. And I'm supposed to go over to Triple H and put him in the walls of Jericho on the announce table.
Yeah.
And so I go out and he goes, I'm hurt. I'm like, oh, he goes, I think I tore my quad. I'm like, what do you want to do? He goes, the spot. So I put him in the walls. And if you watch, like, dude, the dude's a fucking beast, because when you tear your quad, it rolls up like a window drape. Like I'm trying to keep his legs as straight as possible, but I'm sure it didn't feel good at all. He's got to go back in the ring again with the sledgehammer and hit. I think he's going to hit Benoit, who's pinning Steve, and Benoit moves and he hits Steve, and then I do the moonsault and 1, 2, 3. He did everything. He didn't miss a spot.
Yeah, that day, strangely, it almost felt like more intense than WrestleMania that day. I don't know. I don't make a secret about it. Like, I wasn't a big WWE guy when I wrestled myself. It was always a big nerd for like Japanese wrestling and indie wrestling. That's what I always looked at. So a lot of those like big memories that came with John, I didn't really live through this. I just saw it like I was reading results and stuff like that. And so I just catch myself in the middle of this, the emotional stone that I am, and everybody was like very worked up. It was great to be the guy that can, pull the rug on everybody. And I think until the day of the match, I maybe said hello to him twice. That was all the interaction that we ever had. So what a deal. I think it was the biggest thing I've done in my career. The first time I was ever part of something with like that magnitude where I could really feel like it affects everybody.
Fortunately, guys like Paul Heyman and Bruce Pritchard, they believed in me, and they kind of kept pushing for me to get this meeting with Vince. I got to go to his house, right? So most people go to the office, to the towers there in Stanford, right? And I'm thinking, fuck, I'm going to the house. I got this shit, right? So I go in and have the meeting. The meeting goes for about an hour and a half, and so I got this long meeting, and at the end of the meeting, he goes, well, we don't have anything for you right now. I'm thinking, oh, fuck, I guess I overplayed my hand here, because I'd already give WCW my notice that I was leaving. Now I'm sitting there, fuck, I got no job. I'm a nervous wreck, right? So one day I'm sitting at home, phone rings. I get up and go answer it. Hello? And he goes, Is this the Undertaker? I was like, Undertaker? Fuck, Undertaker, that's pretty fucking cool. Yeah, this is Undertaker, and it was Vince, and that was how he introduced the character to me. Flew me up to Connecticut the next day, showed me the storyboards, and the original character, is based on an old Western Undertaker. The two guys in Main Street, they had the fucking shootout. One guy loses, Undertaker comes out and measures him, does the box. Well, that was the original likeness. And he just never found the guy. He had it for years, I guess. And then it kind of dawned on him that he had that character, and he just needed a big guy with no personality. There was void of personality to do the deal, and and he gave it to me, and there's my debut right there. That's November of 1990.
I remember being down in New Orleans, there at number 30, and I was watching the match in the truck with Kevin Dunn. And beer in each hand. Got two badass competitors in the ring, and Brock Lesnar and Undertaker. And all of a sudden, man, I'm watching that referee hits a 3 count. After that third F5, whatever it's called, I couldn't believe my eyes. I was like that guy in the front row. His eyes got this big. I was that guy in the truck.
Right.
I said, holy smokes, what just happened?
Right.
How, when, and why was the decision made to end the streak?
No one wants to give back to the business more than The Undertaker, more than Mark Calloway. There comes a time in which it's time to do that. When you look at that talent roster, who was it going to be? There was no one on the roster, potentially, and the following year, or the year after that, it was timing. Mark thought, okay, This is it. Had to be Brock.
Come on, dude. You can't tell me Undertaker made that decision.
I made that decision.
Okay, you made
Yeah,
the decision. Okay, I
absolutely,
thought you were
sure.
saying he was serving himself up.
No.
You're giving a story about, okay, guy's been around a long time. He's
And
finally
no
gonna
one
get
wants
back.
to give back more than
Right.
the Undertaker.
The kid is unbelievable. For his size, he's 310 pounds. He's the best athlete I've ever been in a ring with. I did wrestle him one time for real. When he came up from training from OVW, someone went up to him and asked him how he'd do against Kurt Angle. He said, I kick his ass. So the guy comes to me and says, hey, Brock said he could beat you in a wrestle match. So I went up to Brock and I said, hey, let's get in the ring right now. And he said, no, I have sandals on. I said, let's take our shoes off. I said, we'll go barefoot. He said, no. So I let it go for the week. The following week, he was in the ring with Big Show. Brock was double-legging him, picking him up and slamming him. I'm like, holy shit. Like, Big Show was facing me. He was on the other side of Brock, and Brock's back was to me. And I said, Big Show, get out. And he gets out, and I sneak up behind Brock, and I tap him on the shoulder. I go, it's time to go. So we went for about 15 minutes, and I beat him, but I didn't beat him. I took him down twice. He didn't take me down at all. It wasn't like a dominating performance. I did beat him, but, you know, he's the real deal.
Oh, he's
he
the real
really
deal.
is, yeah. You know what? I'm surprised he didn't train for the Olympics. I really am. Yeah.
It just took on a mind of its own, man. And I'm so fortunate to work with so many guys that are so creative in the way that they'll have me hit them with it. It's their ideas, so I can't take all the credit. As far as the move goes, of course, there was a diamond cutter.
Yep.
And of course, there was the ace crusher. Yep. I was trying this move. I believe it was called the overdrive. And it was hurting my shoulder a little bit, which had already been fixed up. And so Laurinaitis was like, hey, man, do the ace crusher. So I said, okay, changed it up a little bit. Holy shit. Thank you, Johnny, because now I got this thing I can hit anybody with from anywhere. There's no setup, there's no nothing, boom, and it just happens. And as far as the RKO, the first night that I was doing it on TV, it might have been against Hurricane Shane Helms. Vince is walking in the hallway, we needed a name for this thing. Randy Keith Orton are my initials, and I came up, I'm like, you know, TKO, RKO, this KO, KO, like RKO, Vince, what do you think? Never skipped a beat, kept walking, didn't change his stride, said, I like it. That was it. Next thing you know, it's RKO,
It's
RKO.
a thing.
Yeah. Lucky, man.
Yeah.
Like right place, right time.
Now, everyone remembers that John Cena and Batista were in there last, right? And everyone remembers that they went out at the same time, and it's like, uh-oh. What you might not remember is I was the third last competitor in there. I get eliminated. I'm going down starting to get up and go down the ramp, and I see them both land. I went, oh, shit. And I just see that pompadour come power walking out. This was like a Thanos power walk, like eating worlds. And Vince is not the most athletic man in the world. Like he's kind of like a newborn colt on ice. And all I see is him go to dive in, go to stand up, and just oh, this is odd. Those guys are standing in the ring. Now he's sitting there. He tore both quads. Yeah. Nobody knew at that time. I just remember like, oh man, I am getting out of Dodge. I am going back to that dressing room. And then we were told, don't go in the hallway. Don't go in the hallway. Don't go in the hallway. They kept the hallways clear so that Vince could somehow manage to walk because he refused help with 2 torn fucking quads so that he could get in his car, his limo, to take him to a hospital to get his torn quads fixed.